What a start this has been from Man City. Guardiola coming so close. What a powerful header off the post. And Manchester City are looking to get off the mark here as quickly as possible. It's not happened for them in this run of 12 games. Will this be the game against Everton at home? Easier said than done, considering how Chelsea and Arsenal have struggled to score against Sean Dyche's men. But this is a positive start, this from Man City. Ball by Kovacic. Savinho has picked up the loose ball, looking to drive into the box, taking the long route across, well defended by Mykolenko. Savinho keeps the ball up against the intense pressure of Abdullah Doucouré. Here's Kovacic. That's a nice through pass, but safely into the hands of Pickford. Pep has gone a bit more attacking today, hasn't he? With Doku and Savinho as the two wide men, with Bernado, Silva and Foden as the two number 10s. Mateo Kovacic will have a bit of support from Rico Lewis, who will look to invert into midfield. Here's Guardiola playing as a natural left back here so far. Really has been a goal-scoring threat. 4 goals in the league, this for the left back from Croatia. Here's Bernardo Silva. Back to Doku. He's patient. Everton, no surprises, have everybody bar Calvert-Lewin behind the ball. Lovely switch out to Rico Lewis. You can see the early possession 5 minutes into the game. It's been all Manchester City. Game closes with that effort from Josko Guardiola with his header crashing against the post. 3 minutes on the clock here. Since then, Everton have done very well to keep their shape. Here's Guardiola to Bernardo Silva, immediately closed down, and Everton pinched the ball here. There's a bit of space if Calvert-Lewin can peel away from Akanji instead. Just decide to keep the ball there. Idrissa Gana Gueye did really well there. As soon as he had the ball, there 3 players. Calvert-Lewin had half a chance there if he could have pinched the ball ahead of Akanji. Nice pick out there from Jack Harrison, applauded by Sean Dyche. Everton for the first time really pinning City back. Nice pick out there by Jack Harrison with that left foot of his. Former Leeds player. Has been a shrewd acquisition for Everton. They'll need him a lot more as the season goes on. Dwight McNeil not available through injury. Ashley Young suspended, so Everton having to chop and change a bit. But in terms of a structure, setup and personnel, this is as good as it gets here, as Kovacic looks for a long spread, easily collected by Pickford. They wouldn't mind that one bit, would they? And that would really upset Pep Guardiola, seeing his players trying to go for that long pass early on. Wants them to be patient, keep the blueprint, continue playing the way that they always have under Guardiola. From Everton's point of view, they've shown that they're very much capable in terms of shutting opponents off, but in terms of scoring, they have struggled really. It's a nice pass for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has to do better there in terms of shielding the ball away. He did well to find that space between Akanji and Ake. He has to bring the ball under control and allow the likes of Ndiai and Doucouré to join in the attack. Here's Nathan Ake. Pep has had a bit of problems, hasn't he, in terms of fitness issues. Ruben Diaz, John Stones, all missing. They have Akanji and Ake, who are more than capable. Here's Kovacic to Guardiola. Two Croatians exchanging short passes with one another. Here's the Swiss international Manuel Akanji. Savinho again immediately closed down. This is great stuff, this from Everton. Soon as Savinho picked up the ball in that half space area, 3 or 4 Everton players immediately trying to shut him down. But City have done well to manufacture the ball on the left-hand side. Here's Doku with a nice bit of skill there. Takes a tumble. A challenge of James Tarkowski coming across. Simon Hooper finding no fault with that challenge there from James Tarkowski. Let's have a look here. Clever feet there from Jeremy Doku, and James Tarkowski had a bit of a tug there rather than a clear-cut foul. Simon Hooper not finding enough reason to halt play there. In terms of Everton shutting Man City down in open play, I think they've done more than well enough in the early stages. Surely that's a foul there by Aki. He had a clear tug on Calvert-Lewin's jersey there, but play continues. Tarkowski and Jared Branthwaite, the two centre-halves for Everton. They'll have their hands full with Erling Haaland, who has really struggled in front of goal. Got off to a flyer early on the season. I remember him scoring first game week against Chelsea. It was a very nifty finish. And then he went on a crazy run where had about 11 goals in 12 games, was it? And since then, I think he has just one or two. That has been one of City's main struggles. Their main man up front, not finding the chances. And when the chances have been arriving, hasn't been able to put them away with that regularity that he had in the first two seasons. Here's Ake. Now the switch to Haaland, who's peeled away from Brathwaite. The header's down to Foden, tries to get a bit of space there, but again, it's good, desperate defending. Here's Kovacic trying to pick the lock there. It's very well defended. Everton once again getting into their shape, almost a back five when they don't have the ball. Mykolenko just tucking in as that left-sided centre-half, and Ndiai as that wing-back. Here is the Senegal international. What a signing he has been. Lovely bit of play there, and they can't just sink that last pass. Mykolenko giving Ndiai some support there on the left-hand side. There's the number 10 for Everton. Iliman Ndiai from Senegal. It's a lovely ball this from Foden, and Pickford does very well, not just to grab that and then immediately set forward Everton an attack here. Calvert-Lewin, and he's been easily shepherded away. And Ortega having to come way out of his box there to take corrective measures. Everton won't mind this one bit. That's a clear foul there by Doucouré on Kovacic, but in terms of making it a scrap they've done really well here, Everton. Keeping it physical, forcing City to go long. Don't see too much wrong with that. I think Doucouré has a valid complaint there. Looks like he might have won the ball, but when you come from behind, you know that player with the ball in possession is going to get a bit of favor there. That's a nice knockdown by Savinho to Rico Lewis. Two youngsters on that right-hand side for Man City. Here's Lewis trying to invert. It's a clever pass to Savinho. Brilliant stuff. Lays it off. Haaland. Again, he's been surrounded by 4 or 5 black shirts there. Commendable defending. And Ndiai against Rico Lewis. Brilliant defending by Lewis. Had to get there and did so with very clean intentions and managed to win the throw-in. Brilliant stuff. What a battle that is. Two technically proficient players. Sean Dyche not happy with that, but that is a really good battle to look forward to. Ndiai versus Rico Lewis, but it was better from City. But as soon as Haaland was about to pull the trigger, 4 or 5 Everton shirts just poured and converged towards the ball. Here's Kovacic to Rico Lewis. In 12 minutes on the clock, Everton will not mind this one bit here. Kept their shape, forcing City to go sideways and backwards, and have pinched the ball once again. Here's Mangala. He's hesitated with the pass, and now he's played that into the channel to Doucouré, and Ake does very well. Calmly defends that with the assistance of Josko Guardiola, and City can once again build out the back. Everton showing you how dangerous they can be, but they're playing speculative balls rather than balls to feet or the chest area. That is a lovely switch by Bernado Silva to Savinho, who's looked very bright here, driving into space. Savinho very well defended. Abdoulaye Doucouré comes across. Sensational work there. Everton managed to clear, and so far, every time the ball seems to just keep coming back, but Everton get a bit of a respite there, and it's all coming from the bright work of Savinho down the right-hand side. Real directness in his play, just running into this, and Doucouré did so well there to eat up the ground and show his recovery pace and that willingness to get back and defend. When Everton play this 4-5-1 formation with Gana Gueye and Mangala, it just allows Doucouré to make that late runs into the box and give support to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Doucouré also has to identify that when City are breaking with pace, he has to be the man, that extra man that just protects the edge of the box. Here's Doku up against Seamus Coleman. Nice pass here. Bernardo Silva on the stretch at the follow-up. It's a touch of luck, and it's Bernardo Silva who gives Manchester City the lead here just before the 14-minute mark. It is patient play there from Man City. A touch of fortune involved. Jaron Brathwaite with the slide, getting a hefty touch on it, and Bernardo Silva gives Man City the lead. And it's just what the champions wanted here. Trying to spread that Christmas cheer around here. Again, Kovacic just played it to Guardiola, and now with Doku up against Seamus Coleman, immediately he's in place. Bernardo Silva well onside, and you can see it just takes a healthy nick of Jared Brathwaite's outstretched boot, takes it past the despairing Pickford, and it's Manchester City 1, Everton 0, and the champions are on their way here. Let's look at Guardiola's celebrations. He's loving that. He knows what a big goal that is. City have really struggled in front of goal. Is this the game that might just open the floodgates for them? But we know that Everton have that fighting spirit. They'll have to battle throughout the season here to avoid relegation. They're in 15th now. As it stands, this result won't help them as it stands. City far too early though, but City will be favourites now that they have that opening goal. Will it just be one-way proceedings, or will Everton try and capitalise on some of City's frailties we've seen in the last couple of months? Here's Tarkowski, Ganagay. Phil Foden putting a bit of pressure there. Everton looking to play out the back here, very un-Sean Dyche-like. Oh, it's a heavy touch there by Pickford, and just inviting the City press here. Ganagay with a pass to Seamus Coleman. It's patient this from Everton. They've done well so far. Still yet to get out of their box though. This is good press here from Man City. Now I think with Pickford with the ball, still managing to play out the back here. Here's Brathwaite. Again, he was touted as a 70 million centre-back at the summer. Everton clearly rating their centre-half very highly, and it would take something in that range to try and prize away the England centre-half. It's a nice pass there. It's a great take there by Mykolenko to Ndiai. Good clip pass there. Seamus Coleman will do well there, but Guardiola just lengthens his stride, gets there with real ease there. City will continue. Oh, it's a nice clever pass there. Reversed there by Stefan Ortega, the keeper, to Kovacic. Here's Bernardo Silva, almost playing like a double pivot player here. Might be a foul there, but referee temporarily waved play on before Calvert-Lewin stopped his play there. Let's have a look at Calvert-Lewin's stats here. He's been really struggling in front of goal. And it's been a decision for Everton for a long time. Oh, it's a nice pass there by Kovacic to Phil Foden in that pocket, but once again surrounded by 3 or 4 players. Let's have a look at his stats here for Calvert-Lewin. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist. Now again, you don't want to really put everything on stats, but if you're a centre forward and you do spend a lot of time in rehab, when you're on the pitch, you have to make it count. That's a nice pass once again by Guardiola. Again, Everton looking to squeeze the space there, but it's a delayed foul there on Phil Foden. Touch unnecessary there by Abdoulaye Doucouré. See, the season before, 38 games, 8 goals, 3 assists. The season before, 18 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. It's that 2020-2021 season where he really did have that extraordinary season on the back of the season before, where he had 15 goals in 41 appearances, 39 appearances, 21 goals, but it's been 4 seasons since then that Calvert-Lewin hasn't broken the double digits. Oh, that's a great ball through the face of goal. No one getting a touch on it. Phil Foden showing what he's capable of with that left foot. Nice bend on it. Ake clearly offside. So was Haaland, I think, but non-incident there for Everton. But Man City with the early goal, they just settled the stadium down a little bit. Has been edgy over the past couple of months where things really haven't gone according to plan here for Man City. Their defeat against Aston Villa was costly, not just in terms of the manner of the defeat, but was that psychological blow of Aston Villa usurping you in the table there. Again, Kovacic forced to go long. It's not one of his strong suits, Mateo Kovacic, known more to drive with the ball. His ball carrying is elite. And he plays that quick combination play, those 1-2s, but those long passes, the long ones forward, vertical especially, not a big fan. Very much capable of hitting those diagonals across, but best of Mateo Kovacic does come when he combines with his fellow midfielders, breaking the lines with his ball carrying abilities. Pep looks concerned, nearly 20 minutes on the clock, and rightfully so, I would say. He would be cautious, he wouldn't be over celebrating, and he'll make sure that his team keep their focus across the 90 minutes. We've had some sloppy moments when the game looked pretty much dead and buried. One against Feyenoord comes to mind. Manchester United was unforgivable by Mateo Nunes. Gave them the route back, and then Amad Diallo pinching the late winner. That is much better there from Calvert-Lewin. Once again, Everton forced to go back, though. There's a ping there from Jordan Pickford, which is very well controlled by Calvert-Lewin. Here's Mangala to Mikalenko. Clip pass to Calvert-Lewin, chested down. This is much better from Everton. Decore to Ndiai, waiting for support. Here's Mangala. Goes from distance, ambitious. Trying to curl that into the top corner there, Mangala, the Belgian international. Finding a bit of space here, the number 6, breaking from deep from midfield. And that attack was much, much better there from an Everton point of view. Players combining. There was a clip pass by Mikalenko, well chested down by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The first attempt really in anger. It takes well over 20 minutes. The game is within grasp for Everton. They don't really have to panic here. Soon as City get the second goal, that's when the alarm bells might start ringing in terms of City just looking to run through. Never want to underestimate City, even though they're in such a wretched run of form. They are the only team under this very manager capable of putting together a run of 13, 14, 15 Premier League games where they can go win, win, win. Klopp's Liverpool was famous for doing so. This is brilliant. Again, it's a heavy pass. Haaland, tight angle, can't squeeze that in. The pass from Phil Foden, the weight on it was far too much for Haaland. He did well to steal the ball and try to go around Jordan Pickford, but the angle had closed up. That pass from Phil Foden has to be better in terms of the weight of pass. Haaland is quick. He's got massive strides, but even him, I think he tried to cut that across to Savinho, which is unselfish play there. I think Guardiola knows that he expects much better from Phil Foden, who has had a forgettable season so far, coming from the back of a Player of the Year award. Oh, it's a good corner then. Ake tried to get his head and direct that header on target. That one just ballooning over the crossbar, out for a goal kick as we are halfway through the first half. Manchester City 1-0 courtesy of that goal. It won't be credited to Bernardo Silva as that was not going on target. It needed the touch of Jared Branthwaite, who was on the stretch there past a despairing dive of Jordan Pickford. And Bernardo Silva, the captain for the evening, getting City that much needed goal. And the game has been played at a walking pace here, and that's a poor pass there from Phil Foden. Not been his best half of football so far. He is known to have that quality, but I think outside the box, Phil Foden has to show that he can be that creator. We know that about his abilities rather to create that bit of room and then pull the trigger. Does score a lot of goals from in and around that box. This is again magnificent football. This from Everton, and Ake reads that very well. The last touch coming off the Dutchman. Again, the combination play there from Everton will give them a bit of confidence knowing that they're capable of doing so. They have to commit bodies forward, but they also have to do so with caution, knowing that City can just pick you off with a few passes between the lines and Mang Haaland could be through on goal. Stefan Ortega has got a run of games so far, but Pep giving both keepers enough game time here. I think Edison made far too many costly errors that made Pep just rotate with Stefan Ortega, who can't forget the save he made against Heung-min Son last season when he was bearing down on goal. 5 minutes left of the match. That one-on-one save had pretty much wrapped up the title for Man City as Arsenal were on the necks of City till the very end. Stefan Ortega making that save and Pep's reaction, I'll never forget. It's the funniest thing ever. The way he just waited and the way he just crashed back when he saw the save. A lot has happened since then. Manchester City just loosening their grip on the Premier League title, which they've had a stranglehold on for 4 years. Again, Phil Foden with the angled run there for Erling Haaland. He's through on goal. Again, the touch just takes it away from the Norwegian. Good goalkeeping there from Jordan Pickford. Again, the Haaland of old would have just wrapped this up. Times has run very well here. It's a good pass. The first touch is good, but it is a touch heavy. He was never really going to bring that down. Had to rely on his knee or his upper body to just bring that back into his path. Again, Everton's combination play in the half of the pitch has been very good. Able to progress up the pitch here. Here's the Ukrainian Mykolenko. Ndiai gets the 1-2 back from Mangala. Back to Mykolenko. Decore. Again, patient here from Everton. First time really we've seen them camped in City's half. There's Ndiai twisting and turning and trying to evade the challenge of Phil Foden. Jaron Brantwaite. Oh, that's a nice pass there from Mangala, trying to just thread that through to Abdoulaye Doucouré, who had made his run towards that half space on the left-hand side, and Rico Lewis's extended leg concedes a corner. And this is the first time really that Everton can load the box here and put City's backline under pressure with this corner. The delivery has to be spot on. Brantwaite, Tarkowski, Doucouré, Calvert-Lewin, they've got enough targets to hit here, but the delivery has to be spot on. City not known for height, but have Haaland, Guardiola, Ake, Akanji. Bit of an even contest here in terms of size. I'll have a look as Tarkowski is just trying to throw Ortega off his mark here. Ndiai with the ball into the box, doesn't beat the first man. Here's Ganagay from distance, and it's straight. It was hit with some venom there. Catches that on the half volley there. Just wanted to get that on target. Was always sailing over the crossbar there, but good handling there from Stefan Ortega. The game's had a nice tempo to it. Both teams are looking to play. Everton not just sitting back here, showing a bit of ambition. Games like this are generally free hits in the eyes of the manager. They can't pinch out a draw, especially at a stadium like the Etihad. You take that as Sean Dyche. They'll need his team to produce a goal at least in this game if they are to wrestle a point from Manchester City. Easier said than done, but that impenetrable home form being dented this season by first Tottenham Hotspur in that unexpected manner. They were 4-0 at the Etihad Stadium. A couple of weeks back, Manchester United in the derby stealing one in the very last moment. Clever footwork there from Ndiai. Every time he's on the ball, I've got my eyes firmly fixated on how he looks to solve a problem on the pitch with his dribbling, with his close control, combination play. Again, this is different Everton, more familiar Everton with Pickford going long and immediately losing the ball. City picking the ball up. Savinho has a bit of space here to operate. Bernado Silva on the right decides to go himself with a shot from distance. It's taken a deflection and ballooned in the air, but safely into the hands of Jordan Pickford. Once again, Savinho driving with the ball, drifting infield, looking to pull the trigger. This is great defending there from Idrissa Ganagay, who's shown great footwork there to escape pressure. Here's Mikalenko. In terms of restricting City, I think Everton will be very pleased with their 30 minutes, but that pass from Harrison has to be better. He found himself a bit of space. You can see he just threw his head back. As we look at Manchester City's two experienced, game-changing midfielders of the past, Ilkay Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne, both on the bench here. Gundogan has struggled since he's come back to Manchester City following that one-year stint at Barcelona under Xavi, that too. Coming back to Manchester City, new shirt, but hasn't had the old impact. De Bruyne has been eased into this, and I think Guardiola has done the right thing with Kevin De Bruyne. When he had that desperate run where he wanted results, kind of just chucked in Kevin De Bruyne, who was not really fit at the time, just hoping that the Belgian would produce some sort of magic. But he's realized that he has to be a bit more cautious and hope that De Bruyne will be ready for that March, April, May, when things will get very hectic and desperate for both teams, for all the teams rather, involving in the title race. City are mathematically still in it, but they have a mountain to climb here. Got 6 teams ahead of them. Liverpool absolutely flying under Arne Slot. How many people had that in their bingo card? End of 2024 in December, a week from the new year. Liverpool under Arne Slot with Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk, all free agents in 6 months. But still, they've put that to one side, just focused on the football, and have been pretty much flawless. That loss against Nottingham Forest at home was really a shock to the system, and they did come across back-to-back draws against Newcastle at St. James's Park and then Fulham, and they were down to 10 men. Liverpool have had a game in hand against this very opponent, Everton, at Goodison Park, which was postponed considering the storm that was brewing in the UK. Here's Guardiola keeping it short here. And Boxing Day has got plenty of fixtures. I will be doing 2 more watch-alongs after this game. I've got Chelsea taking on Fulham in that London derby at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea looking to bounce back following the draw against Everton at Goodison Park. Oh, Phil Foden. Bernado Silva! Oh, that's wide. He went to hit that with the outside of his boot. He had so much time and space. He could have taken 1 or 2 touches more, but decided to go for the extravagant finish. This time, Phil Foden's pass is perfect, the weight of it. And you can see everybody from City just throwing their hands up. And I can't believe that finish from Bernardo Silva. Could have taken a touch and just side-footed it past Jordan Pickford, but instead, the reaction from Foden, Guardiola, and Bernardo Silva just told the whole story. The run that City have been on, those kind of chances might just come and bite them in the backside, as About 60 minutes of game time still left. Everton just need that one chance for City to just rue that opportunity. Might have been a foul there by Nathan Ake. He had a palm on the back of Calvert-Lewin, but play goes on. Here is Philip Foden. All that came from Erling Haaland, doing very well to win that ball back and just laid off to Foden, who slipped Bernado Silva through, who made that run from deep, but he couldn't find the target. So 11 minutes of first half action rather. Here's Akanji. Rico Lewis once again inverting, which allows Savinho to really stretch the pitch and then dart in on his left foot. Here's Ake. To Doku, who's had a very quiet half of Premier League football. It was this pass, though, that did slide Bernardo Silva through there for the goal. Here's Savinho. Again, not comfortable going around the outside. It's a clip pass. It's easily dealt with. Here's Ndiai. He's been closed out. Very well done there by Savinho to win the ball back. Foden loses out. Here's Decore. Lovely footwork. Savinho, tenacious there. And brilliant by Decore, who's tenacious himself to win the ball back. Nice passage of play there from City and Everton off the ball as we head towards the final 10 minutes of this first half. First game of Boxing Day, Premier League 2024. Manchester City versus Everton. After that, we've got Chelsea versus Fulham, and then the 11 p.m. Indian Standard Time kickoff between Wolves and Manchester United at the Molineux. That's a lovely switch there to Coleman. Cross comes in, easily dealt with. Nathan Ake just clears that away. Doku with a touch to try and get City on the counter-attack. Instead, they still have to defend. Here's Decore. He waits. Now the clip pass. Oh, it's not cleared. And Ndiai the fast take to make it 1-1. What a finish that is. He takes the touch. It's an outrageous first touch, and the finish is emphatic. And we are speaking about what a costly miss that was from Bernardo Silva a couple of minutes before. And Ndiai showing just how to finish with the outside of the boot. What a goal that is from the Senegalese, and Everton are back in this. Wow, what a goal that is, Iliman Ndiai. Again, they kept the ball alive on that right-hand side. This is brilliant. Again, Decore waits, and then looks to put the ball towards the fast take. Akanji fails to clear. The first touch from Ndiai is so good. Look at this. It's just bobbling across, brings it down, and then at the outside of his boot, Stefan Ortega helpless, Everton level. Great goal. A Christmas cracker from Iliman Ndiai. Again, it's the first touch, man. It's right in front of him. He has the option to go left or right with his boot, and look at Pep Guardiola. If looks could kill, Pep Guardiola. Manchester City, as it stands, will continue their run of failing to pick up more than just the one win in what will be now 13 Premier League games. If this continues here. Here's Guardiola. Where does City go from here now? Bernardo Silva with the captain's armband will be feeling the heat. Yes, he was responsible for giving City the lead in the first half. But that miss was far too costly. You know, a miss of that magnitude, if you watch enough football, you'll know that a miss like that will come back and haunt you. But from City's point of view, they have plenty of time to try and find that second goal. Everton will feel buoyed there, scoring with in open play against Man City. City, I can't remember the last time they did keep a clean sheet. I think it was their victory against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, the 3-0 one. They did keep a clean sheet, but even that clean sheet was a combination of poor finishing by Nottingham Forest in that game and good goalkeeping. Here's Guardiola to Kovacic. Again, City forced to keeping it short, but it's backwards, it's horizontal. Here's Rico Lewis, again inverting. Now Savinho on that right-hand side, drifting in onto his favored left foot, gets it back. Has to go around the outside at some point. He has always drifted in. Once again, keeps the ball in field. At no point has he gone around the outside here, trying to make a beeline for that byline, but always preferring to go infield, as do most of the City players do. Again, that's a decent attempt there. Very well picked out there by Seamus Coleman. And now Everton can break here, committing bodies forwards. Kovacic with a despairing dive. They've kept the ball alive. Harrison, clip pass towards the fast take. Decore lets it go to the goal scorer, Ndiai. Again, tormenting Rico Lewis around the outside. Oh, what a chance that was. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin could have got some sort of contact to it, it could have been 2-1 to Everton. Once again, they really do threaten from those wide areas. They put the ball into the box. No hesitation for them. And this time, Decore making that extra man count from midfield, giving support to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. City just about get that away. Again, in terms of size, they have Guardiola and Akanji. Nake is a tenacious and physical players as we head towards the final 5 minutes of normal time in the first half. Immaculate control there from Savinho. This time goes around the outside, but chops in, and Ndiai doing great defensive work there. And that pass is excellent to Calvert-Lewin, who's done well to keep the ball, has to do better, does really well. That is brilliant centre-forward play there from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and he wins the foul. And Everton can relax as he can look at the final 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes rather of possession. Everton have shaded it 60-40 in favour of the team from Merseyside, who are doing a number here on Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Sean Dyche would snap your arm off if you are to offer this result as it stands at full time. That would be draws against Everton, Chelsea, and Manchester City in a 3-week span. Sensational. Whoever came up with that fixture list for Everton was really praying that Everton were going to have a terrible Christmas. That's a powerful header there by Erling Haaland. City on the break here. Doku just loses his balance, and Pickford shows great bravery there. But the foul has been given. Doku was on a stumbling and a bumbling run there. Felt a nudge at his back, and it's a yellow card. Finger pointing neither to Tarkowski nor Ndiai on that. I think it's Mykolenko here. Let's have a look. Clearly barging into the thigh of Jeremy Doku there. It's a foul. It's a free kick. Edge of the box. Ukrainian Mykolenko picking up a yellow card. He'll be up against Savinho for most of that second half on that yellow card. So he'll have to be very, very careful when he is defending against the Brazilian. But it's a free kick here. I'm not really sure if this is the angle for Phil Foden. They don't have any other set piece taker with the right foot. So it is Phil Foden who needs a bit of magic to really kickstart his season on a personal note and just give City the lift there. Doku is acting as decoy, but don't think he'll be there. But maybe Foden might just clip this into the box. It's Phil Foden. It's headed away easily, rather. Doesn't clear the wall. City keep it alive. It's a curious pass there by Akanji, but Rico Lewis deals with that very well. Here is the England right back. Back to Foden. It's a nice ball into space. Jeremy Doku on the first touch is good, but just loses his balance. Again, a lot of nearly moments for Manchester City, but it's been tough task here. Oh, it's a big, big giveaway there. And Everton managed to clear courtesy of Jaron Branthwaite. What are Everton doing? Just 2 minutes left of normal time. Just had to clear the ball instead. They took a chance. City almost making them pay. The danger is still not cleared with the corner kick to be defended here, but Everton on that occasion get away with that one. Set piece has to be better here. Foden's ball into the box. Nice shape on it, but it's headed away. Savinho, oh, it's well struck and is a brilliant block. Kovacic manages to keep the ball alive. It was hit with some venom there. Nice technique there by Savinho. Here's Foden. Keeping it short here. Against City's MO. No panic in their play. They know that they can't be too casual here. Bernardo Silva with a hopeful ball. Well cushioned down, but it's cleared away. Final minute of normal time in this first half. The ball is broken kindly there. And just to be careful. He's done very well, though, the Senegalese. What a half of football he has had. Not just scoring the goal. And Kovacic bursting through the lines. Haaland to Foden. What a block. Heroic there from Seamus Coleman. Typical of the Ireland right back. Just flings himself at it. The skipper for the evening. The despairing lunge. Brilliant work there. Phil Foden was ready to pull the trigger. Final 30 seconds. Stakowski is on the deck there. He should be okay. Just pulling up his socks as they look to just calm things down as they keep their concentration for this corner. Foden has looped a couple of nice balls in. Is this going to be better? Again, it's straight into the hands of Jordan Pickford. Poor corner there from Phil Foden. As we head towards added on time in this first half, I can't imagine too much time being added on. This half has flown by as we're into 1 minute of added on time here in this first half. For Everton, its job almost halfway done here. Can it get better just before half time? Here's Harrison. Oh, nice 1-2 with Mangala as Harrison is in the box. Clips this towards the fast take. It's headed away by Guardiola. And Everton looking to finish this half on a stronger note here. Again, it's very well worked. And Guardiola gets his head there. Gets that away for a corner. And Everton can really load this box here. Surely might be the final action of this first half. Incredible turnaround this from Everton after going back down. They've shown great courage and character. Harrison with the ball into the box. Chance there for Calvert-Lewin's header. It's over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Great pick out there from Harrison with the ball in. Nice curl and pace on it. And all Calvert-Lewin had to do was time his jump and direct his header. But it's halftime at the Etihad Stadium. All eyes on Bernardo Silva, who gave the leave courtesy of that deflected effort from Jaron Brathwaite. And moments before the equalizer, had the opportunity to make it 2-0. But his shot with the outside of his boot went off target. And it was Iliman Ndiai a few minutes later, just over the 35 minutes mark, with that first touch. And then the finish past Ortega to make it 1-1, as Everton are full value for this 1-1 draw here at halftime at the Etihad Stadium. It's Manchester City 1, Everton 1. What a half of football it's been, and we'll bring you the action for the second game. There'll be a bunch of games in that second period. That 8:30 p.m. kickoff, we'll see Bournemouth taking on Crystal Palace. Bournemouth absolutely flying under Andoni Iraola in 5th position up against Crystal Palace, who's had a tough week last week, losing against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup and then in the Premier League with a hefty defeat 5-1 at Selhurst Park against Arsenal. And we'll see Newcastle taking on Aston Villa. That is going to be another cracking game at St. James's Park. Nottingham Forest taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs under a torrid time under Ange Postecoglou right now. That 6-3 defeat at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was a heavy one for Ange. Now up against Nuno Espirito Santo and the high-flying Nottingham Forest in 4th position after match week 17. They are not there by luck or any fortune. Can't forget that Nuno Espirito Santos was sacked by Spurs. It was Antonio Conte who took charge after Santos was dismissed, and then full credit to Nuno Espirito Santos, who went to Saudi Arabia. He was manager of Al Ittihad, if I'm not mistaken, where it was Benzema, Kante, some really good players. Then he's come back to the Premier League and he has taken it to it like duck to water. Last season, he came back, I think, in December, where he just steadied the ship, lost a few players, but they've kept their core. And when Nottingham Forest were making that whole host of investment with their players, it just looked like maybe they didn't really have a plan. Steve Cooper was struggling. But since Nuno has come in there, he has built such a good team from back to front. Celsa's goal, Aina, this right back. They've got Milinkovic and Murillo, the two centre halves. I like their midfielder, Anderson, Elliot Anderson. I think they got them from Newcastle. And then that front three of Anthony Elanga, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Hudson Odoi with the centre forward of Chris Wood. Chris Wood shouldering a lot of that attacking burden in terms of scoring goals with regularity. Now just having a bit of a dry spell there, but he is more than just goals, isn't he? The New Zealand centre forward. Such an underrated player. Played under Sean Dyche for Burnley, then getting his big money move to Newcastle United, where it didn't really work out. And fair play to both the club and the centre forward. Newcastle, of course, getting Alexander Isak from Real Sociedad. 65 million, was it? It's been an absolute success for Newcastle and Alexander Isak. And same thing goes for Chris Wood. He has gotten in as that centre forward. He has displaced Taiwan Awoni, the Nigerian centre forward. Easier said than done to do that. But Chris Wood has made his name as the number 9 for Nottingham Forest. They're up against Tottenham, which will be a very, very interesting game. And Southampton taking on West Ham. Southampton desperate to get out the bottom of the Premier League table. Most of the teams who find themselves in rock bottom during the Christmas and New Year's time often do get relegated. It's been tough for Southampton again under the tutelage of Russell Martin, and since then have sacked their manager. Them against West Ham. Again, it'll be very, very interesting to see Julian Lopetegui, who is on very thin ice in London. Ivan Juric, the manager for Southampton, will try and steady the ship here and try and give them a push. And then, of course, the London derby, my team Chelsea in second with Arsenal right on our back, trying to keep that pressure on Liverpool. That'll be very interesting to see how they deal with it. Chelsea, bring you the team news. I think 15 minutes into the second half, we will get the team news of all the games. Bring you the team news in the stream. Then after the 8:30 India time kickoff, we have the 11 p.m. kickoff between Wolves and Manchester United at Molineux. That will be a stern task for Manchester United. For Wolves, they play some good football. They have some excellent players, but something just did not work out for Gary O'Neill. They lost a lot of games. I remember against Chelsea, rather, they were 2-2 at halftime. They were really causing Chelsea so much problems on the break. Chelsea in the second half just blew them out the water. That game ended up 6-2, was it? Since then, they really didn't recover. It's been a real struggle, and new manager Vitor Pereira getting off on the front foot. Perfect start for them. The 3-0 victory against Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester City. Now they'll have an opportunity for a bigger scalp against his fellow Portuguese manager, Ruben Amorim, who's had, well, how can you classify Ruben Amorim's start to Manchester United so far? Just about a month. He's got 2 victories against Everton, that 4-0 victory, and Manchester City in the derby. Since then, it's just been pain in the league, losing against Arsenal away, then Nottingham Forest 3-2 at home. Spurs in the Carabao Cup 4-3 was that? Oh, they were 3-0 down in that game. Fraser Foster allowing 2 goals, and then Son with a goal from a corner. United adding one at extra time. It was a crazy game. 4-3 that ended up. And then the week after, the misery was just compounded with Andoni Iraola rocking up with Bournemouth, and in back-to-back seasons has come away from Old Trafford with thumping victories, 3-0 on both occasions. Iraola is some coach, isn't he? Amazing the way that he's got his recruitment spot on and the way he gets his team to play. Amazing coach from Rayo Vallecano, absolutely nowhere. And it was a strange decision there by Bournemouth to sack Gary O'Neill at that time when he had... It was a difficult season for Bournemouth and they had staved off relegation, but it was that time where Gary O'Neill was just starting to gel with Bournemouth. They made that change, and since then they haven't looked back, Bournemouth. We'll see how they get along as the season goes on. That squad strength will be stressed upon as the season goes on. As for Manchester City, they will need something or someone to step in here and try and break this run where they're just failing to pick up 3 points when it's in front of them. They have taken the lead on so many occasions, yet to finish it off. And it just shows you the frailties that Manchester City have. Not just at the back where they are conceding goals, but even forward when those opportunities are presenting itself, they aren't taking it. And that is causing City and Pep Guardiola a lot of headaches. Boxing Day also saw that India traveling to the MCG. What a stadium that is on Boxing Day, especially 90,000 packed to the rafters. Really is one of the sights. I've been very fortunate to visit the MCG. It was the Ashes, really. It was maybe in 2017, December. The game was a dead rubber, just walking around Melbourne. And remember, Steve Smith was on 88, 89, if I'm not mistaken. Just passing by the stadium, I thought, game's still on. There's an hour of cricket still to be played. The game was heading towards a draw, so getting the ticket wasn't a problem. The stadium wasn't full whatsoever. So I got a ticket, went and sat next to some of the English fans, really. And they were just having beers and enjoying the game there with the result pretty much heading towards a draw. But then I got the opportunity of watching Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson bowl. And Stuart Broad, mind you, my goodness me, he is massive. Yes, he's 6'6", and he's all of 6'6". Huge bugger. Watching him and Jimmy Anderson bowl, and then Steve Smith getting his century. I didn't stay too much longer after he got a century. He got a century. I think he hit a couple of boundaries and then got out, and I think the game was done by then. But yeah, the MCG really is one of the top venues for international cricket. It should be for any cricket fan, should definitely be a bucket list activity to go on Boxing Day, especially Boxing Day. Easier said than done, of course, considering the distance and the availability of the Boxing Day tickets. But it was hard work for India in the on first day. Australia won the toss, elected to bat first. Sam Constas, if I think I'm saying that right, the Greek origin, 19-year-old. My goodness me, what a way to announce yourself on the international stage up against Bumrah, Siraj, and he just took over, man. He just hit a 60 of 65 deliveries. Magnificent cricket. The way he was continuing to play with confidence, the reverse, the punches through the offside. A couple of occasions, even went down the track. Him and Uzi Khawaja both getting 50s. And when you saw Australia at 150 for one, you thought, my goodness me, Australia could go around to 400, even 500 with ease. But then it wasn't an easy game. I thought it might just improve in the second and third session, but Labuschagne getting 72 or 145, Steve Smith 68 of 110 deliveries, the top four all getting 50s. It's just nightmare for India. But like if you're looking for a positive, getting Travis Head for a duck, I mean, it's Jasprit Bumrah pretty much our attack. Yes, we saw Jaddu, Washi, and Akashdeep get a wicket. Akashdeep's ball to Alex Carey was a peach just before the end of day's play. But Australia at 311 for six. I think they'll fancy themselves to bat maybe a session tomorrow. Steve Smith is still there, and the longer he plays, it's just it could just prolong India's misery on in Melbourne. So India will just hope that we can just pick up the wickets around Steve Smith. If they can get Steve Smith, even better. But it's going to be hard work there. And I saw Jasprit Bumrah. He was once again on the deck holding his calf. And in the game before, he was had a groin injury, but he still continued to bowl. And now the calf injury. I mean, not an injury per se. He did bowl with the new ball latter half of the day, but we have to be careful with Bumrah. We need to see Nitish Reddy bowl a lot more because I think it was the mark of 75 or 76 overs, and Nitish Reddy had just bowled 2 overs. And when you're there as a fast bowling all-rounder who's known to pick up a wicket here and there, yes, he's not prolific with the ball, but he is a class quality bowler who is an option. So I think Rohit Sharma needs to use him a bit more if he's not getting too much change from Akashdeep or Siraj. So tomorrow will be very, very crucial. I can fully imagine Jasprit Bumrah after a good night's sleep just going out there and bowling his usual stuff. Hopefully we can dismiss Australia somewhere sub 375, because if they get to that 375 400 mark, the way we have batted in the first innings in this tour, it gives me a lot of concern. So let's hope day two is better than day one for India, as this Border Gavaskar trophy is 1-1 after 3 games. The test at Gaba, we were very fortunate for that game to end up as a draw because of rain. So Melbourne, clean slate, and we're all but ready for the start of second half. Can City find that second gear to just move through and try and get a result against Everton at the Etihad Stadium, or will Sean Dyche and Everton continue their excellent run in these big, big games where they're up against superior oppositions and they're on course for yet another shared point match here? They did so against Arsenal, 0-0 there at Goodison. Well, it was at the Emirates rather, and at Goodison against Chelsea, they picked up that 0-0 result. It's 1-1 here. Jared Branthwaite own goal and Iliman Ndiai with the equalizer. And City now will keep things short, will keep things patient as this half wears on. But when will things get a bit desperate? We might see the likes of De Bruyne introduce. Savinho going around the outside. Brilliant stuff there. And Mikalenko, who's on a yellow card, opts to slide and gets the ball, but it's a corner. Much better there from Savinho. We spoke about this in the first half, where every time Savinho picked up the ball, he was looking to cut in on his left foot and just trying to drive towards goal. Corner comes in. It's headed towards goal. It's managed to just about clear. Guardiola went for that flick header. Was hoping somebody else could get that decisive touch in the box. But City have to recycle the ball from the back here. Back to Rico Lewis. Here's Kovacic. Nothing really coming off that corner here. Here's Guardiola, who did threaten with his header, which thundered against the post in the first half. I think there was just about 3 minutes on the clock there. Here's Lewis, now playing as a midfielder. Nothing inverted about his role here. Here's Guardiola pinching the ball high up the pitch here. Brilliant work by Idrissa Gana Gueye. Very well done. And he's been swarmed, but he manages to keep the ball. And here's Calvert-Lewin. Does he have the pace to try and take on Nathan? Clever reverse to Jack Harrison. They managed to keep the ball. Brilliant work there from Calvert-Lewin to recover the ball to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Tries that fancy footwork. Manages to lose the ball, though. Has to be a bit more responsible there, the number 6. They just pop it off first touch instead, trying to use a bit of his footwork there. Has to face the ball here. Gana Gueye face the ball. Now he does. Just running back to his position, not facing. He's got his head down here. He's just walking gingerly here. Not really putting in any sort of sprint. Let's watch if he does sprint now as City once again into the box. Bernado Silva's peeled off Mangala, who's not tracking one bit. Haaland towards the far stick. They managed to clear Mangala with the header. Idrissa Gana Gueye rather with the header. That is very curious from Gana Gueye. He is not looking good whatsoever here. Still just gingerly walking across. Here's Guardiola. Immaculate control on the chest. Doku. Bit of space. Again, he's closed down. It's been the hallmark for Everton, defending just outside the box. Kovacic has got 3 league goals. Back to Savinho. Up against Ndiai. Savinho takes him on. It's done very well there, the Senegalese winger to Rico Lewis. Foden peeled away from Mangala. Again, City forced to go backwards. Good defensive shape here. Fully expected City to dominate proceedings. Here's Guardiola. He's got a bit of space here. Instead, goes short to Kovacic. Back to his Croatian teammate Guardiola. Clip ball. Very disappointing ball. Easily headed away by Jared Brantwaite. Oh, it's a poor touch there by Jack Harrison. Bernardo Silva stealing in there and wins the corner. Just about 5 minutes into the second half. City looking to put the pressure on. Ball towards a fast stick. It can't reach Haaland. Savinho! What a ball block that is. He caught that clear. Kovacic is just wide. And it's 2 attempts from distance. First one well blocked by Pickford. And the second one wide there. That's a quality hit there by Savinho. Straight at Pickford on his right foot. And same with Kovacic, who just cuts across the ball on that occasion. Unlucky there. 50 minutes on the clock. Manchester City pegged back in the first half. What a well-taken goal that was from Iliman Ndiaye, and City now trying to gain a bit of momentum. This is Savinho. Oh, that could be a penalty, you know. Surely it is. It is Mikalenko, who's already on a yellow card. Has to be very careful because it could be a second yellow. Double jeopardy may not apply here. It is a yellow. It's a penalty for sure. Simon Hooper had no doubt pointing to the spot as soon as he took that touch. Oh, it's a clear penalty. You can see Savinho's just lost his balance there. He was going down, but it's a clear foul. He gets none of the ball. All of Savinho. It is unfortunate. It is a penalty, and it's an opportunity for Manchester City to take a lead into the second half. Mikalenko is fortunate to stay on the pitch here. Had picked up a yellow card late in that first half, and now Erling Haaland has the opportunity to give City the lead here. He's up against Jordan Pickford, who has a good record of saving penalties, but he's up against the Premier League's apex predator in Erling Haaland. Seamus Coleman trying to throw off Haaland. He's picked up a yellow card for his troubles. And it is Erling Haaland with the opportunity just over 5 minutes past the second half. If he can beat Pickford from the spot here, it will give City and the City fans a huge sigh of relief here. Haaland's last 5 penalties, he scored one, he's thundered one against the crossbar. Now has the golden opportunity against England's number one goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. This is a massive moment in the match. It's Haaland against Pickford. Pickford doing his very best to throw off the Norwegian. Haaland takes a deep breath. It's Erling Haaland, it's saved on the fall of the header score, and the header is followed up by Haaland, which he is offside. Can you believe it? What a disappointing penalty that is from Erling Haaland. Great anticipation and read there from Jordan Pickford. Brilliant stuff. This guesses the right way rather. The header on the follow-up of Guardiola was back to goal to Erling Haaland, who was clearly offside. He nods home, but the offside flag comes to Everton's rescue. And how about this? It looked like such a poor penalty to concede by Mykolenko, and it is Erling Haaland who fails to convert from the spot, and City will have to pick themselves up again here. Both fullbacks for Everton on a yellow card here as Savinho is just led forward. Pickford does brilliantly there, anticipates that well, comes across as sweeper keeper, and Everton will be buoyed with that penalty save now one day. They'll feel it coming. They'll know that maybe this is the game where they've had a few moments that have gone in favor of them in the first half. Moments before the equalizer, Bernado Silva had the best opportunity to make it 2-0 and pretty much kill the game off. But his effort was well wide. And now when the game is at 1-1, Erling Haaland from the spot, saved by Jordan Pickford, and Josko Guardiola on the follow-up couldn't divert his header to an empty net. Incredible scenes here. I would pay top money to guess what's going on in Pep Guardiola's head right now. He must be getting that deja vu feeling, isn't he? When the game is there for the taking, when the opportunities are there, when you're in the lead, you've taken it up against multiple opposition and still not able to get it over the line, leaving the door open for the opposition. It just makes it worse, isn't it? Harrison up against Bernardo Silva. Here's Coleman. Doku doing well to win the ball back. Here's Doku again. And Everton can just spoon this back. Calmly played here. Over 10 minutes in the second half. It's been eventful to say the very least. Manchester City thought they would have had the perfect opportunity from the penalty spot, but Erling Haaland up against Jordan Pickford, and they're showing some of the antics that the English keeper was throwing at Erling Haaland. But in terms of a penalty, just have a look here. It's not in the corner. There's no height on it. From Erling Haaland's point of view, it's a poor penalty. I mean, from any centre forward's point of view, when he has a look at that back, I think he will be very, very disappointed. Generally such a clean striker of the ball. He likes to put his foot through it. So I'm opting for that side foot, and that's what happens when you're short of confidence. You try to be a bit more assured with your finishes, with your passes. You might even second guess yourself. Just not let instinct take over. That's a top save, though. As a goalkeeper, you have to guess right. Oh, what a header that is from Calvert-Lewin. And Ndiai picks up the loose ball brilliantly well. And Nathan Ake does very well to get a toe on it. Great combination play there from the number 10 and the number 9. It all starts with Dominic Calvert-Lewin challenging for the header. The knockdown is good for Ndiai, who just lays it off back to his striker. And Nathan Ake does well to come across. It's a corner kick here for Everton. And when City had the chance to make it 2-0 in the first half, it was squandered. Everton scored shortly after. Will they do something similar now? Nothing wrong with that leap from Calvert-Lewin up against Akanji. He was stronger. He had leapt there as Akanji failed to get off the ground there. It's a corner kick here. Branthwaite, Decore, Calvert-Lewin, Tarkowski, Harrison, all in the box here. And Ndiai with the delivery. Corner comes in. It's a good header there by Josko Guardiola, but the referee had blown his whistle as the ball was delivered into the box, as there was a bit of pushing and shoving in the box. Let's have a look at Tarkowski. A bit unnecessary there, just barging into Bernardo Silva. It is really poor. You don't really need to see that, considering that Bernardo Silva at best could be a blocker there. What the bigger man, all you need to do is stand your ground and not let Bernardo Silva go around you. But instead, when you concede that foul, oh, what a cheap giveaway that is from Guardiola. Decore pinches the ball. Here's Ndiai. Again, looking to take on Rico Lewis. Decides against it. Mikolenko was there on the overlap. Decides against it. Now gets the ball. Here's the Ukrainian left back. Decide to go back here. Everton won't mind this one bit here. They've managed to keep things identical to the first half, and that's a very poor pass there from James Tarkowski. Not known for his ball-playing ability, more of a box defender. One of the old-school purist defenders left in the English game here. Brathwaite and Tarkowski, two opposites in terms of playing style. Tarkowski, of course, was the cornerstone of Sean Dyche and his Burnley side, which were in the Premier League for a very long time. Was that 6 seasons, if I'm not mistaken? Sean Dyche, manager there before he did end up getting sacked season before. And then Vincent Kompany taking over, and Kompany landing the big fish job at Bayern Munich. Oh, just brilliant from Savinho. He's going around the outside a lot more. I think the first 30 minutes he was deciding to just come infield. Now looking to run down the line a lot more. He's won yet another corner here. They're adding up here. Everton having to defend. I don't think they'll mind this too much, but with the likes of Akanji and Erling Haaland in the box, they have to be careful. Corner comes in. It's disappointing as Guardiola just tries to divert that towards goal. Again, the set-piece delivery from Manchester City has been poor, to say the very least. Phil Foden has been responsible for a lot of the corners and the free kicks. He's gotten no joy whatsoever. Josko Guardiola has gotten a few sighters there as we have a look at Manchester City's franchise player, Kevin De Bruyne, on the sidelines there, just warming up here. And as City get more and more desperate to try and get that second goal, we might see the introduction of the Belgian international, Kevin De Bruyne. It's been a tough season for him, and he's picked up injuries which have really damaged him. If they haven't been niggly ones, it's been hamstring related. Every time those two major injuries, one of them was he had the hamstring tear that he had last season. Don't know the severity of it, but he did feature in the season before. Here's Doku, electric. Jeremy Doku trying to do it by himself there. Nice attempt there. Bernardo Silva, well defended. James Tarkowski just boots that away. City trying to pull the trigger from distance here. Here's Akanji to Rico Lewis. Oh, Savinho had made the run. Rico Lewis completely ignoring him there. There was an acres of space there. He should have just played that 1-2. But here is Savinho. He's got Phil Foden for company. Bernardo Silva behind him. Uses Foden. Foden looks towards the far stick for Josko Guardiola. That should be a foul. It's not a foul, but it is a goal kick. Josko Guardiola coming at the back of Jack Harrison on that occasion. Harrison showing great defensive diligence there, working back, almost playing like wing backs. They are wingers in the system in that 4-5-1, but they are defending when they don't have the ball. Mikolenko just narrows in, and Ndiai and Harrison more than happy to I'm more than happy. Well, on instruction, filling in as those wing backs. Here's Rico Lewis. Again, it's tentative. They're not really looking for that quick change. Just keeping it short. Bernardo Silva taking the circular approach. Gets it back from Guardiola. Here's Doku now, one-on-one again. Seamus Coleman has to take him on. Instead, looks to lay it off to Guardiola. Gives it back to Doku. Again, looking to twist and turn. He's been triple teamed here. Kovacic from distance, well blocked by Idrissa Ganage, and that spin takes it kindly to Ndiai, and Doucouré has made the run from midfield. He's toe poked that forward to Calvert-Lewin up against Nathan Ake. Shows great pace there, but he just toe pokes that out for a throw-in, and Everton have gained a lot of ground courtesy that counter-attack there. This gets their team up the pitch. They can camp in City's half here for a bit. Have been under pressure. Here's Ganage back to Mangala. Ganage just a bit sluggish in the second half. Whether or not he'll last the course of 90 minutes, we'll have a see. But it's a nice pass there for Calvert-Lewin, who has not broken the offside trap successfully there. But to just take that on the chest and fire that first time. You know what? He wasn't really offside there. And I think that was on target or managed to find the back of the net there. Would have been interesting, but it was off target. And Kovacic with a nice diagonal to Savinho against Mikalenko, who's on a yellow card and conceded a penalty in the second half. Be walking on eggshells. Here's Doku up against Mangala, trying to just manufacture a yard or two. Great defending there from Harrison. He might have won a foul, or brilliant work there from Seamus Coleman. And Everton on the move here. Nice pass into the channel here for Calvert-Lewin. What a poor first touch that is. Trying to go across Nathan Ake. Right idea there. When Nathan Ake just steals in and just slides that to safety. Again, a half chance opportunity for Everton on the break. Here's Doku trying to just feed that forward. Well blocked there. Doku doing really well on the stretch. He's won the ball back there, Calvert-Lewin. Everton looking to break here. Here's Iliman Ndiai. Great turn of pace there up against Rico Lewis. He needs support. Such a throwback player, isn't he? But he just loses the ball there. Throwback in terms of his socks being always all the way to his shin pads there. Almost reminds you of Jack Grealish when he was at Aston Villa. Always that short socks. It's what the elite ballers do. Here's Rico Lewis. Nearly 20 minutes of second half action. The clearest Manchester City have come to. Breaking the deadlock has been courtesy of Erling Haaland with that opportunity from the penalty spot, but it was saved by Jordan Pickford. With 65 minutes on the clock here, it's still 1-1. Here's Doku. Oh, it's just not enough room there for the Belgian. Every time he has the ball, immediately he's been closed down. You can see Mangala, Harrison, and Coleman all playing within close quarters to Jeremy Doku there, just making sure that the Belgian winger doesn't have too much time or room to manufacture something out of nothing. Here's Kovacic. Nice one-touch play here. Foden in the pocket. Haaland trying to just burst past him. Very well defended by Jared Brathwaite. And Everton looking to play out the back here. Mangala striding forward, waiting for support. Harrison arrives on the right-hand side. Does very well to shimmy. Does he keep the ball in play there, Doku? Yes, he does. To Bernardo Silva. Everton have stopped here. They need to get back quickly. Here's Foden. Savinho. Savinho just trying to curl that towards the top corner. Don't think that took a deflection there, did it? And you can see there, Everton completely stopping. A huge gap there. Idrissa Ganage, the only midfielder anywhere in sight. And then Savinho just trying to open his body up and just find the top corner. Phil Foden wasn't happy with the Brazilian's decision there. City once again pinch the ball back. Here's Bernardo Silva. Okay, it's a loose pass, but it finds its way to Erling Haaland somehow. Keeping it short here. Kovacic with the clip pass forward. Haaland battling. He's done well to run the channel there. Keeps the ball under a lot of pressure. I think that might have been a foul, but play goes on to the stand-in skipper Bernardo Silva. Kovacic, Foden in the number 10 spot under close watch there from Abdoulaye Doucouré. Here's Phil Foden. Again, there's absolutely no space in the central areas there. City will be forced to go wide. Here's Kovacic. Rico Lewis trying to just thread the eye of the needle pass there, but straight to Jordan Pickford. Once again, another Manchester City move that has been successfully repelled by the Everton backline and the midfield. They worked tremendously hard in the 67 minutes that have been played here. Full credit to Manchester City, to Everton rather, for hanging in there. Oh, that's a poor giveaway there by Rico Lewis, and Everton can break here. Abdoulaye Doucouré lays it off to Iliman Ndiai. Oh, it's a great pass there for Harrison, but it's just too much on it, but he still has the ball. Harrison goes around the outside, clip pass towards the far stick. Doucouré! Oh, it was so close. It has taken a deflection. It is a corner. It is Rico Lewis who gets the touch. And it was Everton who nearly, with the sucker punch, hit City. Brilliant work there by Jack Harrison. Just clips that towards the far stick. And it was Doucouré who peeled away towards the far stick. It's a side foot, just trying to get something on it towards target. And Rico Lewis gets the block. And it is a corner here for Everton. Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Calvert-Lewin, all in the box here as Manchester City will look to defend this. It's a mix of zone and man-to-man marking here. Ndiai with the ball into the box towards the far stick. It's a very disappointing corner, but Tarkowski will keep the ball in play. Seamus Coleman back to Mykolenko. It's a nice pass there to Doucouré, but it has way too much on it. Right idea, but far too much on the ball there. It's out for a goal kick, and Manchester City will have a new problem to solve here. It is Armando Broja, the Chelsea loanee, who was unavailable in the game against his parent club last week, now adding fresh legs and that running power that he has to replace Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's had a decent game of football, it's got to be said, on the few occasions where he's had to hold it up and link up with his forward line and midfield. He's done so very well. But now he'll have the luxury here, Sean Dyche, to just rotate his centre forward and give Akanji and Ake a bit of headache here in terms of dealing with the pace. Armando Broja is a bit of a throwback striker, the old PNP, the pace and power striker. Was at Chelsea, had the opportunity under Graham Potter, rather, when he was the backup striker. Then that friendly game against Aston Villa where he had that ACL injury and just halted his progress at Chelsea. And from there, he's just been loaned to a bunch of clubs, now at Everton with the opportunity. It's a well-headed ball. Very good box defending there from James Tarkowski. Brilliant stuff there from the England centre-back. He can do this all evening, can't he? Just any ball into the box, just leave it to James Tarkowski. Guardiola just colliding with him after the ball had gone there, but Josko Guardiola just trying to make himself an extra body, an extra presence. There's Kevin De Bruyne has been made to sit back down the substitute bench. Look at Chelsea's team here. It's out. It's a good thing that I have to check here. Rob Sanchez in goal. Malo Gusto, Tosin Adebayo, Levi Colvin, and Marc Cucurella back in the attack. No surprises in the double pivot with Caicedo and the skipper Enzo Fernandez. Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, and Jadon Sancho, the three just behind the centre forward, Nicholas Jackson. I'm happy with that lineup. Have a look at their bench here. Philip Jorgensen, Bettinelli, Disasi, Joao Felix, Christopher Nkunku, Cesare Cassidy, Tyreek George, Josh Achimpong, Mark Giu. So plenty of options there for Chelsea. As Bernd Leno, the keeper for Fulham. A back four of Timothy Castagna, Joachim Anderson, Issa Diop, Calvin Bassey, and Anthony Robinson. It's a back five with Andres Pereira and Sasha Lukic in the midfield too. Adama Traore and Alex Iwobi as the two inside forwards for the number 9. Well, the number 7 in this case, Raul Jimenez, the Mexican centre forward, as Manchester City will be looking to make their first substitution, and Pep Guardiola deciding not to wait anymore. It's time to pull the trigger. It is time for KDB. Finishing up his warm-up, getting stripped and ready for action here. Will he be the man to just break down the deep block that Everton have just set up in front of their goal? Kevin De Bruyne knows how to pick the locks, pick the passes. Erling Haaland's lack of goals has coincided with Kevin De Bruyne's inavailability. Inavailability. That's right. It's a long ball forward to Ortega. Again, Armando Broja has yet to get into the game so far. Will they keep going long, or will they just try to use Armando Broja's running power here and hit the channels along the ground here, as De Bruyne is all but ready to enter the field of action here? He'll need a few minutes to get to the speed of the game, and then you might just see the real Kevin De Bruyne. Again, in terms of options to come off, I think Rico Lewis, his number might be up here. Here's Savinho. Twisting, turning, teasing, tormenting. Rico Lewis lays it off to Kovacic. It's Josko Guardiola from distance, and no surprises. It's Tarkowski with the block. He has had an imperious game, hasn't he, James Tarkowski? Here's Doku now, up against Seamus Coleman. Jamie Doku with a heavy touch there, and Mangala does very well to pinch the ball off his Belgian teammate, and Harrison tries to buy the foul there, and he does so very well. It was in a bit of a cul-de-sac there. He was going nowhere. He just caught in the corner here, and the substitution that Pep, Man City, and all the fans have been waiting for. And surprise, surprise, it's not Rico Lewis, but Jeremy Doku, who has been subbed off. It's a Belgium straight swap here with Jeremy Doku coming off and Kevin De Bruyne getting just about 15 minutes plus stoppage time to try and pick the lock, as he does get the captain's armband transferred to his left bicep from Bernardo Silva. And it's Man City who have blinked first in terms of responding to that change. Oh, nice touch there from Broja, just trying to take that away from him. Haaland was up against Jaron Brathwaite there. England international has come second best after that exchange. He's holding his knee. He was on the stretch there up against Haaland. He had to put in the slide. How much damage has he done here to himself? He had to stretch, overstretch. I think Haaland might have just caught him with the stud on the side of his knee. Totally accidental. Yeah, it might have just been a bit of a graze there. But those studs can be sharp, and it can cut through flesh. As Ndiai gets a bit of warning then. It is a painful one there for Jaron Brathwaite, but something that won't keep him away from the action. A bit of ice on the knees there, and maybe a bit of magic spray. Just should get Jaron Brathwaite okay, because the last thing that Sean Dyche and Everton will want is to change their centre-back lineup just before the halftime whistle as well. So they'll try and keep this have a look at the goals and incidents in this match. Bernado Silva's opener, courtesy of the block. Then Ndiai's goal, and then the Erling Haaland miss. How costly is that going to be, man? It's the perfect opportunity, isn't it? Just to get your team back. Instead, concede, fail to capitalize. It's played forward here. Broja has not really had any impact. Has found it very difficult to try and get anything going here. And as it stands, Bournemouth, Manchester City, and Aston Villa all level on points. But Bournemouth and Villa have played one few, or rather, they will kick off in just under an hour here. For Manchester City, really isn't looking good. This was pretty much a home banker, wasn't it? When they were looking at the fixture schedule, Everton at home, never easy, but when you are expected to pick up the victory, especially with Everton struggling. That's a nice clip pass here. Savinho, ball into the box. Haaland, header. Oh, such a strange header there by Erling Haaland. He went to lay it across goal rather than putting his neck into it and diverting that towards goal. But City still on the attack here. Here's Savinho. Here's De Bruyne, first involvement for the Belgian. Lays it off to Phil Foden, heavy first touch. And they managed to clear. Again, there was a great opportunity there. Good pace on the ball in the cross. And all Haaland has to do is try and just divert that to goal. And Mangala on the stretch there does catch Kevin De Bruyne. It's a Belgium on Belgium tackle there as Mangala on the stretch catches his Belgium skipper. You can see getting none of the ball, just catching the side of the boot of De Bruyne with his stud there. It is a painful one there for De Bruyne on his favoured right foot. This was the opportunity. Lovely touch there. This is a brilliant ball by Savinho. It had all the pace into it. It was an in-swinger that Haaland just needed to head towards goal instead. Try to nod it back across for Bernado Silva. That was a chance wasted there. It's a free kick though. Say about 27, 28 yards. Oh, it's a disappointing clip. Kovacic from distance. And Everton can break here. Here's Broja with fresh legs. And City backpedaling here. Broja doing a lot of carrying here. Brilliant stuff. Waiting for support. City quickly flooding their sky blue shirts back in with numbers. Good work there. Guardiola's men just flooding their bodies back. This is a great switch of play here to Jack Harrison. Great control with his right and then trying to whip in that cross with his left foot. Very well defended by Josko Guardiola. It is getting very, very edgy here for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. One win in 12 before this game, and with 10 minutes of normal time and stoppage time to follow, City have just about 15 minutes in total to try and break this run of just not finding victories here. 1 in 12. And if, as things stands, it will be 1 win in 13 for Manchester City in all competitions. And if Bournemouth and Aston Villa can pick up points in their game coming up shortly, City will find themselves in 7th position, struggling to really get any sort of move on. A brilliant goal by Ndiai. I think his evening has come to an end. The touch with his right, the finish with the right, all in one fluid motion. Brilliant. What a signing he's been. Iliman Ndiai. He has run his socks off, and Lindstrom will take his spot. It's Ndiai's afternoon comes to an end. A successful one to say the very least. A goal, and he worked tirelessly throughout the game here. Had to make those wing-back shifts when his team didn't have the ball. He has been some find. Picked him up from Marseille, and again, he was not very prolific at Marseille. I think he had, 4 goals and 3 assists. and just under 50 appearances for the French side. But in terms of impact and how important he is to the Everton attack, quality player, brilliant from Abdoulaye Doucouré. Superb work there from the Mali midfielder. Again, Everton just building a bit of steam here into the box. Oh, Broya off balance. Mangala from distance. Oh, it's taking a deflection. Oh my word. Stefan Ortega was completely rooted here, and he was just hoping that it would just squirm past his post, and it did do so by some distance, but whew, that was close. And Everton getting their reward there. Lindstrom immediately off the bench. The Danish winger immediately making an impact, and now it's Jack Harrison with the opportunity with the corner. Left-footed ball into the box, a lot of height and distance, headed back towards goal, and it's easily claimed by Stefan Ortega. Everton have done a number on Manchester City here. They are 7 minutes plus stoppage time from a very important point at the Etihad Stadium. And that will come off the back of the 1-0 draw at the Emirates Stadium against Arsenal, and then that 0-0 against Chelsea at Goodison Park. So showing their defensive capabilities and capacity to go toe-to-toe against the big sides, make it extremely difficult as a defensive unit, and even have somewhat of a threat. Against Chelsea, I thought they were full value to get 3 points. Everton, they had two big opportunities, and it was Rob Sanchez who came up with some big saves in that match to keep Chelsea's win streak, unbeaten streak going rather, as De Bruyne tries to pick the lock here. Here's Doucouré, who's done a tremendous amount of work here. Amount of ball carrying and ball security, ball retention he has been tremendous, as Manchester City and Guardiola have looking to roll the dice here with the double substitution. Nathan Ake for Simpson is the substitution, and Mateo Kovacic, his race has run, as he will come off for Ilkay Gundogan. Number 66, Simpson from the City Academy. Number 19, Gundogan. Again, City will need to create a lot more from open play here, at least in the last 5 minutes. Rarely have threatened Jordan Pickford. Even their goal came in fortuitous manner, barring that penalty and the Josko Guardiola header. I think Everton have been comfortable in a defensive sense. 5 minutes from stoppage time. Don't think they'll have too many minutes added on. Might just get the standard 4 or 5 minutes. Here's Simpson replacing Nathan Ake. To keep it short, here's Gundogan, the two substitutes just being introduced, getting quick touches on the ball. Gundogan finds Rico Lewis. Opts to find Savinho on the right-hand side. Lovely change of direction there, and he's wanting the foul, but Lindstrom doing very well, and Mikolenko will just clear that away. Should have been a better ball there from the Ukrainian, as the Korea just broken into a bit of space down that left-hand side, and he had just used a bit of care and culture on the pass. Everton could have had a chance to break there. Instead, here's City through Bernado Silva. Up against Seamus Coleman, who's had a great evening's work, and De Bruyne with a clip pass with absolutely no elevation on it. Again, keeping it short. Slight challenge. Oh, it should be De Bruyne across goal. What a block that is. No surprises. It's James Tarkowski, and Everton on the break here. It is Broya against Simpson. And Guardiola comes back quickly. Decore has covered a lot of ground to break free from the shackles of Gundogan. Here's Ganagay to Lundstrom. Up against Rico Lewis. Lundstrom clips the ball in. I think the final touch has come off the Everton attacker, and it will be a yellow card for the Everton midfielder in the previous play there where Simon Hooper had wave play on. It is a good decision there where he just slid in and challenged Savinho. That was Branthwaite rather than Lindstrom. And then De Bruyne had so much space to pick out the pass, but Tarkowski just flings himself at the ball and just deflects that away from any harm. And City once again searching for answers. They may not find it here. Here's Bernardo Silva. Gundogan. Again, they're keeping it slow, patient. No real desperation in City's play here. Phil Foden to Bernardo Silva. Trying to go around the outside. Might just keep it short instead. Here's De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva. Guardiola. On his right foot now. Lays it off to Akanji. Sides against clipping the ball. Here Savinho does well to manufacture a bit of space there, and it's a mishit. City managed to keep the ball. Again, 2 minutes plus stoppage time. Time really is running out for Manchester City here. Their hopes of finding all 3 points. Oh, that's a strange tackle there. Savinho doing so well. Savinho, brilliant block. What a block that is from Mykolenko. And he's done that again. Sensational work there from the Ukrainian left back. On 2 occasions, just flinging himself at it and getting those blocks and just takes the pressure off. Final 90 seconds of normal time here. Everton can almost reach out and touch that 1 point. And when Sean Dyche was looking at the fixture of Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester City in back-to-back games, he would have bitten your arm off for 3 points from there. But I hope that he would have picked up a victory. In terms of performance, he got that against Chelsea. Again, against Arsenal, I think Arsenal were reduced to maybe 1 shot on target. They've done something similar here against champions Manchester City, as Seamus Coleman will be subbed off for the final assignment here, and it's Nathan Patterson. It is Ireland for Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Nathan Patterson, also Irish origin, placing the Everton skipper Seamus Coleman. 30 seconds of normal time to be played. All substitutions pretty much wrapped up here for both teams. Here's Manuel Akanji. The ball has to go into the box as quickly as possible, either along the ground or in the air. In the air, there's been very little success. Holland had a half opportunity with the header. Decided to head that across goal rather than go for goal. Here's Bernardo Silva looking to put that into the box. It's well defended by the newly introduced substitute, Nathan Patterson, and it is a corner as the clock strikes 90 minutes here, and it's 6 minutes of stoppage time for Manchester City to pinch all 3 points from here. It's Kevin De Bruyne. Cross comes into the box. It's headed away on the follow-up. Phil Foden can't get a boot on it, and Idrissa Gana Gueye just gets some distance, height rather than distance, and now Decore does the same. Touch there from Idrissa Gana Gueye, just gets away from him. 30 seconds just like that, wiped off from stoppage time here. It is desperation time here for Manchester City. They are 5.5 minutes from continuing this woeful run of 1 win in 13 games in all competitions. Here's Guardiola. Gundogan, he had to really make an impact coming off the bench. The same can be said with Kevin De Bruyne. Seen the ball maybe a couple of times. Maybe he gets the ball now. Here's Rico Lewis, and it's well over. The ball falls to him with a touch of fortune that was meant for De Bruyne. It went behind De Bruyne, but it was Rico Lewis who just burst into the box. Didn't really think about that. It was a first-time finish. Had every right to take it on. But he was just falling over it rather than getting over the contact. And you can see the desperation look there from the Manchester City players and Pep Guardiola, as 90 seconds of stoppage time has just breezed past. And I think we're looking at the man of the match here on the bench, Ndiai from Senegal, the number 10 from Everton, transferred from Marseille over the summer, and he has been an excellent recruit down there at Merseyside. As we look at 24 attempts to Everton, 7 for Manchester City, but it's 5 on target to Everton's 3. So in terms of ratio, Everton more than happy with theirs. Just under 50% for them. And for City, they're looking at something in the under 30%. Here's De Bruyne. Oh, it's a poor pass there from Savio. Tries to find Foden at the edge of the box. Here's Broja. He's got runners. What a pass that is from Abdoulaye Doucouré. He's one-on-one against Akanji. He waits for support. He's got Harrison. On the right is Idrissa Gana Gueye. Can he go for the cutback? Good block there from Guardiola and Simpson. Maybe the last touch has come off the City Academy lad there. Could break this from Manchester City as they had to defend this from Everton. Jack Harrison with the reverse to Idrissa Gana Gueye. But the last touch coming off the Senegalese midfielder. Here's Phil Foden. He's at the halfway line here. They wouldn't mind one bit, the Everton players. Bernado Silva with a curious ball into the box as we're halfway through stoppage time here. City, it really is last chance saloon here. Here's Rico Lewis, Foden, Lewis, Savinho up against Lundstrom and Mikalenko. The Danish international does well. Clipped pass into the box. Tarkowski has headed that so many times in this match. And that's a clear foul there. Surely a foul on Armando Broja there. I think it was Phil Foden who was just tugged at the shorts of Armando Broja by any means necessary. Picks up the yellow card. Desperation pull there from Phil Foden. Picks up the yellow card. Yet another game where he has not been able to make an impact on the scoreboard or in general play. Sean Dyche will be mightily pleased with his boys. What an effort this has been over the past week. Final 2 minutes of stoppage time. Here's De Bruyne headed down. Gundogan, what a challenge that is from Tarkowski. Mangala on the stretch. He's done very well to keep the ball. Excellent work here from Everton. They have somehow managed to keep possession, and that will frustrate City. The ball is played into the channel there for Armando Broja. 90 seconds left here for Manchester City. It really is all or nothing here. De Bruyne, he's in his own half. He's gone for the switch to Savinho, and the ball is heavy, but he's done so well, the Brazilian, to bring it under his spell. Really just laid back to De Bruyne. He does just that. Here's Savinho. He's looked to clip this into the box. Tarkowski with yet another header. How many times have we said that? Broja just breezes past the challenges. It's 4-on-2 here. And if Everton get this right, they can pinch all 3 points. Broja, Harrison on his left. It's Jack Harrison is blocked by Akanji. And what an opportunity there on the break. Danger still not cleared. 45 seconds left. Here's Doucouré. They might just slow things down here. What a chance that was. It was 4-on-2 on the break. Into the final 30 seconds. Everton just happy to keep the ball here. Now clipped into the channel. Oh, it's an aimless ball. Ortega will look to release this as quickly as possible as everybody has been waved into the Everton half here. City players, Everton players all flooding into the half. This really is last chance, and Kevin De Bruyne with such a poor pass. It is to no man's land, and that should be that. Into the final few seconds. The clock strikes 96 minutes. All eyes on Simon Hooper as Everton have really done a job here at the home of the champions. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. The first game of Boxing Day Premier League football is a surprise result. It's 1-1 at the Etihad Stadium after Manchester City took the lead courtesy of Bernardo Silva's fortunate goal. And it was Ndiai with the goal, brilliantly finished to give his side that 1-1 halftime equalizer. And in the second half, Erling Haaland, 10 minutes into the second half, had the perfect opportunity from the penalty spot, but it was Jordan Pickford's save to keep it 1-1. And a combination of City's inability to pick the lock and Everton's brilliant defending sees Everton with 3 back-to-back draws against the heavy hitters, first against Arsenal, then Chelsea, and now at the home of the champions, Manchester City. It's full time here at the Etihad Stadium as Manchester City are now 6th in the league as Bournemouth and Everton still have to play. It's full time here. It's Manchester City 1, Everton 1.